Getting into Pokemon card investing can feel like navigating a minefield of overpriced products and questionable advice. When I first started treating cards as investments rather than collectibles, I made every mistake in the book, chasing the wrong cards, buying at peak prices, and falling for hype that fizzled out faster than a Magikarp splash attack. In this video, I'm sharing how to start investing into Pokemon cards without wasting money, so that you can build a portfolio that actually appreciates in value instead of gathers dust in your closet. Now before we begin, I want to disclaim that the information in this video shouldn't be construed as financial investment or advice. Please make sure to do your own research before actually making purchases. The foundation, understanding what makes cards valuable. Before we start throwing money at shiny cardboard, we need to understand what separates a smart investment from an expensive mistake. Pokemon card investing isn't about buying whatever looks cool, it's about recognizing patterns that have proven successful over decades. The most successful Pokemon card investments share 4 key characteristics. They feature popular Pokemon, they occupy rare chase slots, they showcase exceptional artwork, and they also come from limited print runs. Think of it like real estate. Location, 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 except in our case, it's Pokemon, rarity, and scarcity. But here's where most beginners get it wrong. They assume newer automatically means better investment potential, and that's like thinking the latest iPhone will be worth more than a vintage Rolex in 20 years. Sometimes older really is better, which brings us to our first major strategy. The mascot strategy, betting on Pokemon's Hall of Fame. If you're going to invest in Pokemon cards, you need to think like a Pokemon fan from any generation. Some Pokemon are simply more beloved than others, and this popularity translates directly into long-term value. Generation 1 Pokemon are like the blue chip stocks of the card world. Charizard, Pikachu, original 151 starters, Gengar, Eevee, Mewtwo, Mew, the legendary birds, and Dragonite have proven their staying power across multiple decades. These aren't just Pokemon, they're cultural icons that transcend the card game itself. But don't sleep on later, but still older generations entirely. Pokemon like Rayquaza, Lugia, Ho-Oh, Giratina, Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, Lucario, Greninja, Tyranitar, Umbreon, and Espeon, these have all demonstrated remarkable value retention. These are the franchise mascots that appear in merchandise, in movies, and in players' hearts. And here's a simple test. If your grandmother who's never played Pokemon might recognize the creature, it's probably a safe investment bet. Charizard? Absolutely. But some random bug type from Generation 7? Probably not. When you're choosing between 2 equally rare cards, always pick the one featuring the more iconic Pokemon. A secret rare Charizard will almost always outperform a secret rare Bidoof, regardless of how pretty the artwork might be. And it's not personal, it's just popularity. Rarity hierarchy. Not all chase cards are created equal. Now that we know which Pokemon to target, let's talk about rarity, because a common Charizard isn't going to fund your retirement, no matter how nostalgic it makes you feel. In the modern era, your investment hierarchy should look something like this. Secret rares and alternate arts are at the top, followed by full arts and gold cards, then special illustration rares, and finally standard VMAXs or regular holos bringing up the rear. It's like the difference between owning a base set Charizard and a more modern common Rattata. Both are Pokemon cards, but only one is going to become treasure over time. Cards from limited print sets also deserve special attention. Special collections, holiday sets, promotional cards, and Japanese exclusives often fly under the radar initially, but can spike dramatically once collectors realize how scarce they are. The Pokemon community has consistently shown that they'll pay premium prices for standout artwork. Cards like the Sword and Shield Alt Arts, particularly Umbreon VMAX or Moonbreon, or Giratina V Alt card have become legendary not just because of their rarity, but also for their artistic purposes. When a card makes people stop scrolling and say wow, that's usually a good sign of a good long-term value. But don't overlook the artistic factor either. Cards illustrated by famous artists like Mitsuhiro Arita or Akira Agawa carry additional collectible value. It's like owning a painting. Sometimes that signature in the corner of a card matters as much as the subject matter. The sealed product strategy. Patience pays. While individual cards can be great investments, sealed products offer a different kind of opportunity, one that requires patience and sometimes often delivers superior returns. Booster boxes are the gold standard of sealed product investing. They contain the most packs while taking up relatively little storage space, making them ideal for long-term holds. Elite Trainer boxes and booster bundles follow a similar logic. Decent pack counts with manageable storage requirements. Collection boxes are trickier territory. Their investment potential depends heavily on what packs are inside and whether the included promo cards can become sought out after. Plus, they're storage nightmares if you're planning to hold multiple boxes. Choose wisely, or your garage might start looking like a Pokemon warehouse. Here's something that most people don't consider. Sealed products sometimes appreciate more than individual cards over time. While that special illustration rare might double in value over 5 years, a sealed booster box from the same set could triple, quadruple with its price. Why? Because sealed product becomes increasingly rare as time passes. People open packs, but no one can manufacture new sealed product from the past. The key is identifying which sealed products are likely to become scarce. Sets with smaller print runs, special editions, or those that were poorly received initially and thus open less may provide the best long-term returns. Sometimes being unpopular in the short term is exactly what makes something valuable in the long term. Set selection, vintage versus modern investment strategies. Choosing which sets to invest in requires understanding the fundamental difference between vintage and modern Pokemon cards, and why both have their place in a diversified portfolio. Vintage sets from the Wizards of the Coast era and EX era have proven long-term growth potential due to pure nostalgia and genuinely limited supply. These cards were printed in smaller quantities with less sophisticated distribution, making high-grade examples increasingly rare. It's like investing in classic cars. They're not making any more 1969 Mustangs. Modern sets can absolutely hold value, but they need to introduce something truly iconic to stand the test of time. Tag teams, special illustration rares, and other innovative card types have shown that they can maintain value if they capture collectors' imagination. The key is identifying which modern innovations will be remembered fondly in 10 years versus which ones will be forgotten in the footnotes. And here's where timing becomes crucial. Modern sets often see their lowest prices 3 to 4 weeks after initial release, when the initial hype dies down, but before the long-term scarcity sets in. This sweet spot is your opportunity to acquire modern investments at reasonable prices. However, avoid overprinted sets like the plague. Battle Styles, for example, was printed into oblivion, making most cards from that set poor long-term investments regardless of their initial appeal. When everyone and their grandmother can easily obtain something, it's probably not going to appreciate significantly, or it's just going to take more time to appreciate. What to avoid: the investment killers. Let's talk about the cards that will drain your wallet faster than a Snorlax at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Understanding what not to buy is just as important knowing what to target. Standard V cards, regular holos, and anything that could be considered bulk should be avoided for investment purposes. These cards are printed in massive quantities and serve as pack fillers rather than chase cards. They might look pretty, but they're not going to fund your future. Overhyped modern cards present another trap. Just because something is expensive today doesn't mean that it'll hold its value tomorrow. Cards from sets that received massive reprints are also poor indicators that they might take longer investments to appreciate, or it just means that they're poor investment choices. When Pokemon decides to print a set into the ground, even the chase cards lose their luster. It's basic economics. Increase supply while demand stays constant and prices will fall. Finally, avoid investing based on pure speculation or social media hype. If some TikToker is telling you to buy something, you're probably already too late to the party. The best investments are often the ones nobody's talking about yet. Timing the market, when to buy and when to hold. Pokemon card investing isn't just about what you buy, it's about when you buy it. Understanding market cycles can mean the difference between profit and loss. New sets typically follow a predictable pattern. Initial hype drives prices up, followed by a correction as supply increases. Then gradual appreciation as the set goes out of print over the course of a couple years. Your sweet spot for buying is usually during that correction phase, when prices have cooled before long-term scarcity kicks in. Pre-orders are a good route if you can get them at MSRP. Just try not to purchase product at marked up prices as pre-orders. I made this mistake once buying a Prismatic Premium Collection box way above market price just because I was afraid of missing out. Seasonal patterns also matter. Pokemon cards often see price increases around holidays and the start of the school year when kids are getting back into the hobby. Conversely, summer months sometimes see softer prices as people focus on outdoor activities instead of card collecting. The key is patience. Good investments take time to mature, and Pokemon cards are no exception. If you're looking for quick flips, you're gambling, not investing. Storage and preservation, protecting your investment. You can make all the right buying decisions, but if you don't properly store your cards, you're essentially throwing money away. Condition is everything in the collectibles world. For individual cards, invest in quality storage supplies, penny sleeves, top loaders, and card savers for valuable singles. For sealed products, make sure they're in a climate controlled environment away from direct sunlight and moisture. Your closet might seem convenient, but temperature fluctuations can damage packaging over time. Consider professional grading for your highest valued cards that are in pristine condition. While grading costs money upfront, it can significantly increase a card's value and provide authentication that buyers trust. Just make sure that potential value increase justifies the grading costs. Getting a $10 card graded rarely makes financial sense if its PSA 10 value only increases $20. Building your portfolio, diversification, and risk management. Like any investment strategy, Pokemon card investing benefits from diversification. Don't put all your money into one card or one set or even just one era of Pokemon. A balanced Pokemon investment portfolio might include, let's say, 40% in sealed product for stability and proven growth, maybe like 35% in individual cards of popular Pokemon from recent sets, 15 to 20% in vintage cards from iconic Pokemon, and 10% can be used on emerging trends or undervalued sets. Set a budget and stick to it. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement and overspend, but remember that there should be money that you can afford to lose. Pokemon cards are alternative investments, not guaranteed returns. Consider your timeline as well. If you need money in 2 years, Pokemon cards probably aren't the right investment vehicle. But if you can hold for 5 to 10 years or longer, you're much more likely to see a meaningful appreciation. Tracking your investments, the digital portfolio manager. Now, something that you must not overlook is how to track your investments when it comes to these shiny cardboard. You might think you remember what you paid for your Charizard 6 months ago, but trust me, your memory isn't as reliable as you think, especially when you're dealing with dozens or hundreds of cards and sealed product. This is where apps like Collector and Pokelytics become absolute game changers for serious investors. I'll leave links to both of these down below in the description because honestly, trying to track Pokemon card investments without proper tools is like trying to navigate without GPS. Technically possible, but unnecessarily painful if you don't know where you're going. Both apps allow you to input exactly what you paid for each card or sealed product, then it automatically tracks their current market value using real-time, I think, TCG market prices. It's like having a stock portfolio tracker, but for your Pokemon cards. You can see at a glance which investments are performing well and which ones might need to be reconsidered. The psychological benefits are huge too. When you can see that your portfolio's value is increasing over time, it reinforces good investment habits and helps you stay patient during market fluctuations. Conversely, if you notice certain types of cards consistently underperforming, you can adjust your strategy accordingly. These apps also help with tax planning if your investments become substantial enough to matter. Now, having detailed records of purchase prices and dates makes calculating capital gains much easier than trying to reconstruct everything from memory. The data insights that you get are invaluable, and you might discover that your vintage cards are outperforming your modern cards, or that sealed products are appreciating faster than your singles. This information makes you make more informed decisions about future purchases. Now, tracking isn't just about knowing your net worth, it's about understanding which strategies work and which don't. In the investment world, data beats intuition every time. The long-term game, why patience wins. Pokemon card investing isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term strategy that rewards patience and discipline. The most successful investors in this space think in decades and not months. And consider this. A base set Charizard that sold for $50 in 2010 might be worth $500 or more today. That's not because of market manipulation or artificial hype. It's because of genuine scarcity combined with enduring popularity. The Pokemon franchise isn't going anywhere, and with new movies, new games, merchandise, new sets, the fan base continues to grow and evolve. This expanding audience creates ongoing demand for both vintage and modern cards. However, success requires discipline, and you'll be tempted to sell during price spikes or panic during market corrections, and the investors who build real wealth are the ones who can ignore short-term noise and focus on long-term trends. Pokemon card investing doesn't have to be a gamble if you approach it with knowledge and strategy. Focus on popular Pokemon, target genuine chase cards, understand market cycles, and most importantly, be patient. Remember, combine popular Pokemon with rare chase slots with beautiful artwork and limited print runs. These are your best bets for long-term appreciation. The Pokemon card market has matured significantly over the past few years, but opportunities still exist for smart investors who do their homework. Start small, learn from your mistakes, and gradually build a portfolio that reflects both your investment goals and your passion for the hobby. Whether you're looking to fund your retirement or just want your collection to hold its value, these strategies will help you make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes. The Pokemon card investment game rewards those who think like collectors but invest like professionals. Now, if you want to learn exactly what I do if I started investing into Pokemon cards all over again, make sure to watch this video next.